Rurouni Kenshin, Kyoto Inferno, 2014. Set in Kyoto, the film opens with police captain Hajime Saito and his troops on a mission to capture a dangerous man. But before they could figure out who their target truly is, all of Saito's men are mercilessly slaughtered. When Saito finally reaches a blazing chamber, he comes face to face with the bandaged man Shishio Makoto. Saito's mission was to arrest Shishio, who opposed the New Era government. But that day, not only did Saito fail to capture him, he also lost all of his comrades in the tragedy. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, at Kamiya Dojo, Kaoru is seen training her students. At that moment, Kenshin returns from the market carrying vegetables. The students quickly surround him, hoping Kenshin would teach them a few sword techniques. Yet Kenshin gently reminds them that the purpose of the sword is no longer to kill, but to strengthen the body and spirit, reflecting the motto of the Kamiya Dojo. Not long after, Inspector Kawaji arrives with an urgent message. The Minister of Internal Affairs wants to see Kenshin. Sanosuke, who distrusts the government, insists on tagging along. The minister, Okubo, directly pleads with Kenshin to stop a rebellion led by Shishio in Kyoto. He explains that Shishio was once the successor to Kenshin in the Ishin Shishi, serving as Batusai during Kenshin's disappearance. He also fought in the Battle of Toba Fushimi. Shishio possesses nearly the same speed and skill as Kenshin, but unlike Kenshin, Shishio is a ruthless psychopath with an endless hunger for power. Deemed too dangerous, Shishio had once been betrayed, burned alive, and left for dead. Yet somehow he survived, and now he seeks vengeance. Kenshin refuses, holding firmly to his vow never to kill again. The minister, however, pleads for Kenshin's help and asks him to reconsider within a week. Back at the dojo, Kenshin confides in his friends, but they all oppose the idea, especially Kaoru. A week later, on his way to meet Kenshin again, Minister Okubo is suddenly ambushed by Shishio's right-hand man, the lightning-fast prodigy Sojiro Seta. Meanwhile, Kenshin himself is heading to see Okubo, intending to decline the mission once more. But along the way, Kenshin stumbles upon Okubo's lifeless body, brutally murdered. Soon after, Inspector Kawaji brings Kenshin to witness Shishio's atrocities. Police officers slaughtered, families torn apart, women and children left in despair. These images haunt Kenshin, reminding him of the hundreds of lives he once took as Badusai. Saito soon arrives, warning Kenshin that Shishio will exploit the nation's unrest to conquer Kyoto. With no room for negotiation, Saito declares he will be waiting in Kyoto. Tormented by guilt, Kenshin realizes that since he laid down his sword, Shishio has taken his place as the merciless killer. Determined to stop him, Kenshin decides to leave. He thanks Kaoru for sheltering him in the dojo, but now he must wander once again. Kaoru can only weep in silence, while Sanosuke rages upon learning Kenshin left without a word. Not long after, Sanosuke encounters a man named Aoshi Shinomori, who arrogantly asks for the whereabouts of Batusai. Sanosuke, enraged, engages him in a fistfight, but Aoshi, once the leader of the Oniwabanshu, easily defeats him. Just as Sanosuke is about to be killed, Megumi intervenes. On the road to Kyoto, Kenshin faces suspicion from villagers for carrying a sword, an outlawed act in the New Era. During a brief rest in a small village, his reverse blade sword is stolen by a mischievous girl named Misao. Kenshin retrieves it without harming her, but before Misao can leave, a boy rushes in begging for her help. The boy leads them to his gravely wounded brother, who tragically dies before their eyes. Kenshin and Misao escort the child back to his village, only to find devastation, his parents executed and hung. As they attempt to bury the dead, Shishio's bandits surround them. With no choice, Kenshin unsheathes his sakabato and... In an instant, dozens of bandits are defeated, though none are killed. Misao watches in awe, unable to believe someone could fight with such power without taking lives. Suddenly, Sojiro appears, confirming the legend of Badusai. Shocked, Misao realizes the man she tried to rob was the infamous Kenshin Himura. Sojiro delivers Shishio's message. He is waiting for Kenshin. It is revealed that Shishio desires control over the village for its hot springs, whose healing properties soothe his burned skin. Kenshin, enraged by Shishio's selfishness, challenges him to fight. But instead, Shishio sends Sojiro. The battle is fierce. Despite his young age, Sojiro's speed and adaptability overwhelm Kenshin. In a devastating moment, Sojiro shatters Kenshin's sakabato with his blade. That night, Shishio commands Sojiro to gather 10 deadly swordsmen for their campaign to seize Kyoto. Meanwhile, at the dojo, Kaoru grows restless, fearing not that Kenshin may die, but that he may kill again. At last, she resolves to follow him to Kyoto, alongside Yahiko and Sanosuke. Back in Kyoto, Kenshin reunites with Misao and is introduced to her guardian, Okina the Elder of the Oniwa Banshu. Once a spy for the shogunate, Okina now serves as an information broker. Misao, too, is a member, searching for her missing captain, Aoshi. After losing his comrades to the government, Aoshi has become obsessed with surpassing Batusai to prove himself as the strongest samurai. Okina respects Kenshin, knowing his true identity. When Kenshin requests help locating the swordsmith Arai Shaku, Okina immediately deploys his network. That night, Kenshin meets with Saito, who warns him that Shishio already controls much of Kyoto and is preparing to strike. Meanwhile, Shishio assembles his 10 swords. Among them is Cho, a flamboyant sword hunter. Ordered to kill Kenshin, Cho suspects Kenshin will seek out Arai Shaku. Shishio laughs, revealing that Shaku is already dead. Kenshin eventually learns of Shaku's death and instead meets his son, Seiku Arai. Seiku, however, refuses to forge weapons, choosing instead to craft kitchen knives and farming tools. Kenshin respects his choice and departs. But Cho soon arrives, kidnapping Seiku's infant son and demanding Shaku's final blade. Desperate, Seiku runs for help and finds Kenshin. At the temple, Kenshin confronts Cho. The duel is brutal. Kenshin fights unarmed, using only his sword scabbard. Still, without a proper blade, Kenshin struggles. Witnessing Kenshin risk his life for his child, Seiku finally retrieves his father's last sword, a true sakabato, twin to Kenshin's broken blade. At that moment, Kaoru and Yahiko arrive in Kyoto. Kenshin takes the new sword and resumes the fight. Cho threatens the child's life, forcing Kenshin to strike in anger. Yet Cho survives, for the sakabato's edge is reversed. Kenshin is relieved he has not broken his vow, while Kaoru rejoices. Cho is arrested by the police. That night, Shishio and his 10 swords prepare to set Kyoto ablaze. Thanks to intelligence from Okina, Kenshin, Saito, and the Oniwa Banshu brace themselves for battle. Kaoru and Yahiko refuse to stand aside and join the fight. As flames rise over Kyoto, chaos erupts. Kenshin strikes down Shishio's men without killing, while Saito slays ruthlessly. Yet something feels wrong. The enemy leaders are absent. It dawns on Kenshin and Saito. The attack is a diversion. Shishio's true target is Tokyo. Elsewhere, Aoshi arrives at Okina's hideout, furious that the elder shelters Kenshin. Obsessed with his vendetta, Aoshi challenges his former master. Despite Okina's pleas to abandon hatred, Aoshi chooses the path of darkness. Meanwhile, Shishio escalates his assault. During the chaos, Kaoru is kidnapped by Sojiro and taken aboard Shishio's battleship. Kenshin gives chase, confronting Shishio at last. Their duel is brutal, two legends clashing with everything at stake. Shishio's savagery pushes Kenshin to his limits, while Kenshin's vow restrains his killing intent. In the heat of battle, Kaoru is thrown into the sea. Kenshin leaps after her into the stormy waves. The ocean rages violently, dragging them under. Kenshin desperately tries to save her, but the current is too strong. Kaoru vanishes into the abyss, while Kenshin himself is swept away, powerless. At dawn, Kenshin's battered body washes ashore on a lonely beach, his new Sakabato lying beside him. What happens next? We will uncover the story in Rurouni Kenshin Part 3, The Legend Ends, 2014. That's all for today's recap. I'm Allie, and until we meet again in the next video. And goodbye!